I just hit record. I swear I hit it before, but that's okay. I'm going to spotlight Bree and she's going to share the top 5 unhealthy business practices. So how about it, girl?
Here I am. Okay, you guys. So yeah, gonna dive right into this because I think that these 5 unhealthy sponsoring things that we do, or maybe you don't do, but is common for people, is super important to address, and not for any other reason, but to just take notice and understand that doing these things might cause an adverse effect on your business. And we want to be pushing ourselves forward and not running into a brick wall by doing these things over and over and over again and wondering why they're not working. Okay. So if you feel like maybe I bring up something and I'm talking to you about it, like it's condemning to you or something, don't take it personally. Don't be hard on yourself, because the reality of it is that I can tell you I have done all 5 of these things. Okay. At some point in my business, and like Alex said, even right now, not having enough joint conversations is definitely a point I'm at in my business, that I have to actively work on and talk myself out of having fear, which is going to be the first thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about. Okay. So, when we're talking about unhealthy sponsoring practices, me and Alex both agreed that fear was at the top of that list. And the thing is that fear is not unhealthy in itself. Okay. Fear is a natural reaction that we have to a lot of things. And I don't know about y'all, but having the joint conversation is probably one of the scarier conversations that I tend to get into with my customers or with people in the Scentsy business. I don't get afraid to talk to people about purchasing. I don't get afraid to talk to people about booking parties. But when it comes to joining, I still get the butterflies in my stomach. I still get a little bit nervous. And there's that overwhelming idea that they're going to like think that I'm just being really salesy, and that I say this to everybody, and that I just want them on my team so I can make more money, or, all of those things come into my head almost every single time that I have a joint conversation. So if you're feeling like that, I want you to know that having that fear and recognizing that is not unhealthy. Okay. What is not healthy when we are talking about growing your business beyond what you can imagine, and really trying to have a foundation for a title like superstar director, or having a large paycheck or anything like that. When we're talking about that, we cannot let fear have the stronghold when it comes to having these sponsoring conversations. So don't let the fear of whatever you have going on inside of your head be like a stick in the mud and you're stuck there. Okay. We have to get over that reality that even though we're afraid, sometimes we still have to do it. Right. We still have to do things that we're afraid of in life, not just even with Scentsy. Because I can tell you, like, when I first started driving, I was scared crapless. Okay. When I first got my driver's license and I went driving with my dad, I was so scared, but I do it anyways. Right. I still do it. And sometimes I'm still really scared to drive. But the reality of it is that the joint conversations are no different. And so, how do we overcome that fear? And we talk about this in different ways, right? Sometimes it's verbiage, sometimes it's the situation we put ourselves in, as far as, are we having these joint conversations over the phone, over a text message with our close customers? What does it look like for you to be able to work around that initial fear? Okay. So if you are letting fear grip you in such a way that you are not having joint conversations, and you are not sponsoring people because you're afraid of what they're going to think, or what they're going to say, or what their reaction is going to be, then you have to figure out, how do you get around that? Okay. Because that is unhealthy, to let fear keep you from sponsoring. Okay. That is where it's unhealthy. Fear itself is not. The second thing is something that I feel like happens a lot. Um, and I even catch myself doing it. And again, it's not a bad thing, because I think that we want to be considerate of people and we want to be thinking about other people's situations and feelings. But the reality of it is, and this is why it's number two, and this is why it's unhealthy, is that we tend to try to make up people's minds for them when it comes to sponsoring, right? Has anybody done that? Like where you have somebody come to your mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I think they'd be a really good Sensi consultant. And you have that moment of like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I think I'm gonna talk to him. And then you sit there for like 5 seconds longer and you're like, oh wait, no, no, never mind. She's a nurse. She has a full-time job already. Like she won't be good at this. She won't want to do it. Um, that happens to me all the time. I sit there and make up these stories, these wild stories about these people in my life and why they wouldn't do Sensi, why they would say no, and why they couldn't do it. And but the reason that they're in my mind in the first place is because I thought for a moment that they would be really good at it because maybe they really do love Sensi. Maybe they're the best hostess I've ever had. Maybe they spend $200 every month with me buying Sensi anyways, right? Whatever reason popped into my head, whatever gave me that initial thought, I let this idea, this some made up story in my mind tell me that I'm not going to ask them. I let that decide for me instead of just asking them, instead of letting them make up their own mind. And again, I think we do it sometimes to be considerate, right? We're like, well, I don't want to bother them. They already have a full-time job. Or, she's not going to want to do this because you have to invest money and she doesn't have a lot of money, but that's why I want to ask her to do Sensi. All of these reasons that we give ourselves permission to not take that step forward ultimately holds us back, because we are not in charge of other people's decisions. We don't get to be in charge of other people's choices. We need to believe in this business enough to give them the option to have, or give them the chance to have the option, right? And the reality of it is if not you, it could be somebody else who gives them that option. So don't make up people's minds for them. But that is the number two reason, the number two mistake that we believe people are making when it comes to sponsoring. And I am so guilty of it. Okay. Some of my girls here, I sat there for a long time and was like, no, they wouldn't want to do it for one reason or the other. And now they're here and a lot of them are killing it. So enough said about that. Um, the next one is huge. This one is such a big deal. And it is so unhealthy because I promise you, if you are not doing this, your business will die. I point blank, I firmly believe this, okay? And number three is not leading. Okay. And so that's a really broad statement, but we talk about all the time, you guys, leading from the front, right? Showing up on team pages, showing up for your team. Maybe you're not super active on team pages, but showing up for your team and leading by example, right? Leading by the front. So what does that look like when we're talking about the three legs of success? Are you accumulating PRV? What does that look like? Are you showing people how to accumulate PRV? Are you having joint conversations, booking parties? Are you leading the people who you have entrusted with this business and you have said, here, come take my hand and do this with me? Are you leading them in a way that you want them to follow down the same path? Because if you are not leading them, where's your business going? Where do you expect them to go if you are not walking down the path and saying, here, come, follow me, watch what I do? And of course, we're all going to make mistakes. Sometimes I'm like, you can follow me, but I might trip and slip and it's fine. But are you setting an example that says, I am doing what I need to be doing in this business to be the best I can be? And that's leading. And I can tell you that when we do step into the sponsoring role, that is one of your responsibilities. And it only creates really unhealthy boundaries and unhealthy expectations when we take our hands off the wheel and decide not to lead. It's not fair and it's not going to lead your business anywhere you want to be. Okay. And the next one kind of plays into this, not training. Okay. And so this is kind of twofold because I'm not just talking about you doing training for yourself, but I'm also talking about um, uh, what are you training them, right? So are you taking in information so that you can turn around and lead your team, or um, are you not, right? And so it's super unhealthy in terms of sponsoring, to disregard the reality that we have to constantly be training ourselves. We have to constantly be wanting to increase our knowledge about the business and the ever changing systems that we have and all of that. And so if we are not training ourselves, we cannot be a reliable source in which we train our teams. And so to me, that's a really big deal, and I wish that I could put that up higher. But once we do step into that sponsoring role, training is a must, and that falls on your shoulders in a lot of regards, as far as being able to know how to train yourself and to train the people around you, right? And then the last thing, not having enough joint conversations, right? We touched on that a couple different times here. And this is probably, like Alex, this is probably one of the biggest ones that I struggle with. And it's for a multitude of reasons. And some of it has a lot to do with fear and making up people's minds. But I'm not having enough joint conversations, you guys. I am not taking every possible opportunity, every customer who's a really great customer, I'm not turning around and asking them, hey, are you interested in doing what I do? I'm not doing that. And I should be. We all should be, right? We are missing opportunities when we don't. And there's no magic number in having enough join conversations. There really isn't. Okay. There's not have this many join conversations and this many people will say yes, or, it's this many no's. Like, people will tell you, you get 100 no's before you hear yes. Like, it's all relative in the end. You need to have enough joint conversations. You need to determine that by the longevity that you want your business to be at, right? So if you, I was going to give an example, but not having enough joint conversations is a pattern that we tend to fall into a lot. And we get in ruts, or we get comfy with where we're at, and we just fall into this really unhealthy pattern. And the reality of it is that I think Chuck says it, or maybe Orville says it, if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay. And so when we're looking at sponsoring, right, we're looking at growing our team, and we can't do that unless we are actively pursuing people to come and do it with us. And that requires you to offer the opportunity to the people around you. And so you have to be bold in your asks, and you have to determine what that amount of joint conversations looks like for you. So those are the 5 unhealthy sponsoring things that we see that is common. And so I see that there are comments going, but feel free to share which ones you feel like you are struggling with the most, or maybe it's all of them, or maybe it's none of them and you have something else. Do feel free to share in the comments. And then Alex is going to come through with the healthy ones. So get ready for that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably all of us in some sort of way can relate to one or many of the unhealthy business practices. And that's not a bad thing. It's okay to recognize where you can get better, some areas that you've struggled. Maybe you didn't even realize you were doing these things, but you're like, yeah, actually, like I do decide for my customers before I even ask them, and it's normal. You don't jump into this business knowing how to do everything, right? Like that's why we train, that's why we share, that's why we come together and brainstorm, and just come up with different ideas and suggestions for your business, right? And so if you recognize you in some of those situations, have no fear, because you can recognize and then make the steps to change that. And so that's why I'm going to come chat with you about the top 5 healthy sponsoring practices that Bree and I kind of collectively came together and agreed on, that we believe that these are 5 healthy practices. And it's kind of funny looking at the notes here that I have, and it's like almost opposite of everything she said. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to go 1 through 5. I do have notes, so I might look over just to make sure I don't miss these points that I'm wanting to share with you guys. But I'm just going to jump in for you guys. So, the top number one tip that I have for healthy sponsoring practices is living the Scentsy life. Okay. We talk about it so often, we talk about it all the time. It's not just great for sponsoring. Okay. It's great for your whole entire business, right? Are you posting regularly, wherever that is? TikTok, Instagram, your stories, VIP group, Facebook, it doesn't matter. Are you sharing on social media right now? Like, social media is everything. People aren't getting together, right? Um, are you sharing your passion for Scentsy, right? It's not just about the awesome fan in the pod. It's about how it makes you feel, how happy you are, how much you've grown, how much you've evolved. Are you sharing how excited you are when we have new launches, how excited you are that we have a brand new catalog? Are you showing your passion, right? Are you sampling? Are you giving out products and following up on them? Are you making samples and sharing? Are you getting fragrance under people's noses? Are you dropping off stuff at your local customers? Are you popping some things in the mail when you can? Like, are you sharing Scentsy? Like, physically sharing Scentsy? Are you positive and encouraging? Because if you're just like always negative, going on like Facebook rants, or just have a crappy attitude, I can guarantee no one's going to want to buy, host, or join with you. It doesn't mean everything's rainbows and butterflies. It doesn't mean you never have issues, but like in general, we need to be problem solvers, right? You can have a bad day, but like share what's also good, right? Um, are you being attractive? Attraction marketing. That is what Scentsy is. It's not necessarily about the product, you guys. It's about who are they supporting? Who are they watching, right? Who are they relating to? Okay. Are you providing value for your people? Are you living the Scentsy life? I feel like that's very important. It helps with your PRV. It helps with referrals. It obviously helps with sponsoring. It helps with hostesses and parties and everything in your Scentsy business. Okay. I feel like it's very important. And it leads me to step number 2, which is front loading. Okay. And I know this seems like a lot of like general Scentsy business tips. Okay. But hear me out. Front loading means you're booking parties, you are showcasing items and collecting pre orders, you're closing parties regularly, you have high PRV, you are advertising limited time offers. Okay. Without doing this, without front loading your business, you don't have enough people in your business to consistently recruit. If you don't have high PRV, if you average 200 PRV a month, that's an average of 5 customers. Okay. So if you only have 5 customers in your business for a month, you are not going to have a lot of people to talk to about the business opportunity. The good news is you can control your PRV. You can grow that. You can take the steps you need to front load your business. Make sure that you have PRV coming in, because PRV means you have a lot of people in your business. Okay. If you can average 2,000 PRV a month, that's like 20 to 30 customers a month in your business, or more, likely more. And so that means that's 20 to 30 people a month that you're sharing Scentsy with, writing thank you notes for, giving them samples, following up with them, getting reorders from, asking to book parties, mentioning the joint opportunity. So front loading your business is so very important because it ensures that your business is healthy. And without a healthy business, you're not going to be able to sponsor healthily. Okay. You're not going to be able to show your new recruits how to get PRV. You're not going to be able to show them the way if you're not doing it, right? So front loading to me goes hand in hand, like the opposite of not leading from the front. If you're front loading your business and you have high PRV and you're meeting new customers and you're booking the parties, then you are leading. You are doing exactly what you need to do in the business. And you can know with confidence that the recruits will come because you are doing what you need to do. You are having the conversations, you are following up, you're meeting new people. The recruits will come. High PRV gives you access to more potential recruits. So just recognize that if your PRV is not in check, then my guess is you're not living the Scentsy life. They go hand in hand very well. The more passionate you are, the more you talk about it, the more you post regularly, the more you give people samples, the more you book parties, the more you get high PRV, the more you advertise your LTOs, the more you're present in your VIP group and on your stories or whatever it is, it will all come together and you will build a healthy personal business, right? And from there, then you can easily add in sponsoring. It will be much more simple, and it will flow very evenly. It won't feel like you're jumping all over and you're scattered. You really want to recruit, but you don't even know what to do because you don't even have your business in check. Okay. So those two I feel go very hand in hand, and those 2 points are number one for me. Like they're very important. You cannot skip over them. You can't just throw up a post every now and then, put in your 200 PRV every few months and expect a sponsor. It's not going to happen. Okay. It won't happen. So that leads me to step number 3, and it's engage in our team and trainings. Okay. I think Bree, we had it just engage in trainings, but I added it when I was writing my notes, engage in the team and in the trainings. So this means share what you're doing on a regular basis. If you're packing up orders, post it on the team page so others can see. Okay. Especially if you have a team, send a picture to them, like, I'm packaging up orders today. What are you working on? Right? Share with your team, be there, engage in trainings like this, or the Tuesday training call, or world tour, or Cincy family reunion, or the amazing groups of training that they put on Facebook. Dive into YouTube training and then copy and paste it and share it on the team pages you're in. Right? If you create a label, share it. The more you put yourself into our community and you share with our team, and even if you feel like, oh, this has been shared a million times, like no one's going to care that I package my order that way, it's not true. That's you and your doubts telling yourself that. It is not true. We all love to see different packaging things. We all love to see new stickers that you make for your labels. We all love to see new ideas. We all love new training videos. Okay. Hop on live if you just had an awesome connection with your customer, something awesome just happened, or you were in the drive-thru and you gave them a scent circle, then they went on your website and ordered. Like, make a video, go live, make a post, like, tell us, celebrate, share. When you are engaging in our team, we're looking, we're learning, we're inspired, okay? But your team is also looking, and your team is also getting inspired, and your team is also learning how to show up. Your team is also learning, oh, I can share too, right? And that's what you want, right? Imagine a year from now, you have a team of 50 people, right? Don't you want them sharing on your team page? Don't you want them showing other people what they're doing? Wouldn't that make you feel so awesome? Like, it's a great feeling. It's so good to give back to this awesome community. And so make sure, like, as you're working your business, just snap a few pictures, put them on the team page. As you're watching a video, share it, whether it be on the team page, to your team, in an email, it doesn't matter. Just engage in the team culture that is Cincy, okay? Especially if you already have an existing team. It doesn't have to be something super complicated, or like you have to come up with all this content to share. I think Terrence said, or someone said, I'm really struggling on how to train my team. It doesn't have to be so crazy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to sharing things. Just show what you're doing, right? We have so many new consultants come in all the time that maybe we have posted about grab bags 100 times, but 50 people have never seen it. So why not share it again, right? Why not post a picture of your Amy to-dos completely at 0, bragging about how you just knocked them out? That's awesome, right? So engage in this stuff. Go to the trainings, take pictures, share, be excited, be passionate, right? Just be passionate, share, and engage in our team culture, because it's something really amazing. And as you grow your team, you're going to have to create your own team culture, and it can feed off of what you're already doing over here, right? It will bloom into this really amazing team culture for you as well. And so I think that's really important, is that you stay engaged with the team and you stay engaged with trainings, and you really make that a point to lead in that sense. Even if you don't have a team yet, you can still show up in that way. I remember when Bree first joined 3 years ago, I don't think she had a recruit yet, and she was already sharing on the team page. She was already making videos. She was already snapping pictures of the things she was doing, and she didn't have a team yet. And so just keep in mind, you don't need someone on your team to start practicing your leadership skills. Okay, that can happen from day one. My fourth point for healthy sponsoring practices is having regular join combos. I think this is something we can all do more of. I know I can too. Okay, guys, think of your VIP customer, someone that orders every month. Think of your best friend, someone that is falling in love with Scentsy. Think of someone who started with wax and warmers and then they bought a buddy and then you gave them a sample of washer whiffs and now they're buying washer whiffs and they just tell you like, oh my gosh, like don't tell my husband, or I'm going to go broke, or like, I can't believe you showed me that again, or like, I need to up my budget for Scentsy for the month. These are people you need to be having join conversations with. Every single host you need to be having join conversations with, right? There have been trainings where our catchphrase is buy, host, join, right? But if you flip it around and it's join, so you mentioned joining, like, and so I do this. So it's join, host, buy. You can look at it that way. I sometimes do this from brand new customers. So say we have a local group, it's like Marketing Tuesday or something, and I comment on the group like, hey, I'm your neighborhood Scentsy girl. Feel free to join my VIP group. I close orders every week. Send me a message if you want me to drop off a catalog and some samples at your door, right? And I do this as often as I can. I get new people in my VIP group all the time. I get new people asking for catalogs and samples all the time. And sometimes when they give me an order, I just say right from the jump. I don't know if you'd be interested at all, but if you love home decor and fragrance, you would probably love being a Scentsy consultant. And it's a really awesome way to make some extra cash. Plus you get free and half off Scentsy. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. Probably not this time, but I'll keep it in mind. Cool. Awesome. Let me know if you want your next round of Scentsy free and half off. We can do like a little shopping link or a Facebook shopping event. Okay, cool, awesome. No, not right now, but maybe later. Okay, awesome. Your total is $54.95, right? So I went join, host, buy. If they say no to joining, cool. Let me offer them free and half off Scentsy. If they say no, cool. They still gave me an order. Here's your total. Pay me and I'll use it for my free and half off Scentsy. Consultant perks, right? But I did my job, right? Join, host, buy. Don't be afraid. Like you're doing your job. You're just offering it to them. It's not something scary. If they say no, it's fine. They're still going to order. They're still going to love Scentsy. You can still get them free and half off Scentsy. And then when they see how awesome their party is, you can mention it again. Like, girl, you sure you don't want to join? You have, 17 people who bought from your party and you have over $100 in free credit. Like these people are going to need more Scentsy. And like, seriously, your friends and family love it. No, I don't think so. Okay, fine. I'll get paid on it. You get your free and half off Scentsy, and I'll ask you again when you need more. We do another party. Like, it's okay, guys. We're just doing our job. Don't be afraid to ask. If they say no, it's fine. They're still going to want Scentsy. They're still going to love Scentsy. You're still going to be an awesome consultant. It's not like they say no and it's like, oh my God, we can't talk anymore. I just embarrassed myself. They said no. Like, it's not like that. You're just doing your job. So just try to have more join conversations. Even if you're scared, I say be casual about it. Be super casual. Do you want to join my team? It's $99 to join and you get all this in your starter kit and you don't have to do anything but place a 200 PRV order once every 12 months. And it's super simple and I'll guide you along the way. And we have team trainings and your workstation is awesome and you'll get a consultant ID and you'll get a website and it's super awesome. Do you want to join? Like, that's freaking creepy, okay? No one's gonna wanna do that. They're gonna be scared, okay? Keep it casual. Like, have you ever thought about joining Scentsy? You would definitely benefit from the discount and you'd get paid on any sales you get. I think you would really love it. I think you would really rock at it. I think that your friends and family would love Scentsy. It seems like you have really supportive friends and family. They would probably love it, right? It might be something really fun for you to do. Whatever it is, but keep it super casual because there's nothing like being scared away from a super long paragraph of you asking them to join. Okay. And I always say, Norma, yes, they are keeping the 12-month moving forward. I always say, start with your customers, right? Like we don't cold message. That's so it works circa 2012. Okay. We don't cold message. We don't like, hey girl in their inboxes if we haven't talked to them since high school. We don't need to do that. What will get people coming to us is by living the Scentsy life, is by sharing our passion, is by posting regularly, is by, being positive in attraction marketing. That's what's going to bring people to you. We don't need to cold message people, but people who are in our customer base already, we can have those conversations with them. And I always find the best time to have that conversation is when they give you an order, right? It's not random, or when you follow up with them, right? But more specifically, when they're giving you an order, like, hey, I need to place a bar order. When's your next order going in? Oh, it's going in on Monday. You can get all 10 new fragrances for you can get all 10 new fragrances plus 2 additional bars for only $60. Thank you, Mandy, by the way, for that realization. But honestly, girl, you should seriously think about joining Scentsy. I think that you would totally love it, and you could get your bars whenever you need them, and you could get them at free and half off. Okay, if she says no, who cares? She's still going to order bars with me, but I offered the join opportunity in such a casual way. Okay, so just remember, as you're working your business, as you're having conversations, as you're living that Scentsy life, don't be afraid to have join conversations. I would encourage you, post about joining in your VIP group once a week. Share your story, some form of your story. It doesn't have to be the same story all the time, like in your stories. Like, I love Scentsy because I can stay home and snuggle with my boys on a Wednesday. I joined Scentsy because I wanted extra me time. I'm loving Scentsy because it's totally like evolved from when I joined to where I am now. I love meeting new people with my Scentsy business. I love our team culture that we get to hang out. There's so many different reasons why you love Scentsy. So share that regularly, right? Share different aspects of that, because you're going to be attracting different people for different reasons, okay? So while I am talking about join conversations, I'm also talking about sharing the opportunity as well, okay? So that's my 4th point. Got kind of fired up there, but it's just true. Like, it's just so true. And then my last tip for healthy sponsoring practices, and I'm sorry I'm not reading the chats because I get sidetracked and I forget what I'm saying, but I will go back to them. My last tip for healthy sponsoring practices is a system for onboarding. So onboarding means when they join, then what? Okay. The new consultant call, my cat, I'm sorry, if you're here. Yeah, just meows like crazy. Okay, and it's super cold outside, so I can't leave them out there. Okay, sorry, y'all. When you have a new consultant join, then what? And this evolves over time. You get better at it as you sponsor more. You're allowed to make mistakes along the way. But in general, what are you going to do for your new consultants? I can tell you what I do, but I'll tell you it changes a lot. I'll tell you I've made mistakes. I'll tell you I'm not perfect. But in general, things like encouraging them to create a VIP group, sharing the type of content that is more attractive, real life images, encouraging them to unbox or go live with their starter kit. Encouraging them to do the first things first checklist, telling them to read their new consultant guide. Also, another tip, if you've been around for a little bit, on your next local order the new consultant guide from the Scentsy Success Store. It's $3. That way, when you are training your new consultants, you literally have what they're looking at. You literally can tell them on page 9, it goes over the Scentum Warmer of the month. Okay, you can give them answers by showing them where it is. Okay, so for me personally, I do all of that stuff. VIP group, types of content to share, introducing them to the team page, having them set up their first party, unboxing their starter kit and taking pictures, announcing they join, having them do their first things first checklist. I do all that, and then I get them on the phone. Okay. And when I get them on the phone, it's like, okay, what now? Right? You've done all of this. I can see you did the new consultant checklist, because you can check that. If you go to reporting tab and then sensational start, it will say training and it will say complete. So I can see if they've done their new consultant checklist. I ask them, did you read your new consultant guide? I see that they have a VIP group open. I go to their website and I see they have a party open. I see that they changed their picture. I'm like, cool, let's get on the phone. And then I give them 30 minutes, an hour of new consultant training with questions they have over all of that. I'm not getting on the phone with them and walking them through changing their picture, opening a party, creating a VIP group. That's all stuff that I do, like with a quick text, a quick message back and forth, right? And then I get on the phone with them. So I have them do their business legwork, and then I get on the phone with them to support them and answer questions about that. So that's what I do. But what could you do, right? Is it something similar? Do you want to get on the phone with them before that and kind of walk them through that? Do you want to create videos for each thing and send them videos? It doesn't matter. It's going to be different for everyone, but figuring that out and writing it down. I recommend writing it down and maybe creating a checklist. That way, every time you get a new recruit, you can go down the list. And I'll tell you, no two recruits are created equally. Everyone joins for different reasons. Everyone has different levels of passion and motivation. Sometimes they just join for the kit. Sometimes they just join for the discount. Sometimes they join to make $2,000 a month, right? It just depends where they join and where you align that with your onboarding. But it is very important that you figure out what you're going to do, because the goal isn't just to recruit one person and have to do it once. The goal is to recruit 1 to 2 to 3 people a month and have it a system that you do every single month, okay? Recruiting is not just a one and done practice. It's something that you want to consistently be doing. And so it's really important that all of these 5 steps align with what you can duplicate, right? We don't just recruit when there's a join special. We don't just recruit when you have one Facebook party every 6 months, right? Your goal is to consistently recruit. But to consistently recruit, you have to make sure your business is in check. You have to make sure you're front loading your business, that you're living the Cincy life, right? You have to make sure that you're showing up for the team pages consistently. You're indulging in trainings. You are having joint conversations consistently. That way you can consistently be recruiting, consistently onboarding, consistently executing those systems that grow your business to what it is. And if you can just imagine what your business will look like 6 months from now, if you can recruit 1 to 2 people a month, right? And you are onboarding them well enough to where they are excited, they're booking parties, they're following your lead, they're engaging in the team page, they're doing LTOs, they're collecting pre-orders, they're showcasing, they're sharing. Imagine what your business can look like 6 months from now if you are recruiting and you're teaching them what you're doing. Just imagine your business, you could recruit 6 people, but then those 6 people could each recruit 1 or 2 people a month, right? And you're looking 6 months down the road, having a team of, who knows, 30, 40, 50, right? And that might seem completely crazy to you, but I saw it happen. It happened this past fall. So it's not impossible. And if you want to start with 1 person a month, that's great. Like, I'm happy when I recruit 1 person a month. There's nothing to, I think that's wonderful. But just recognize that it is a revolving cycle. You want to consistently be sponsoring. It's very important to your business growth. If that's what you want in your business, is to grow and promote and see those higher paychecks and really step into leadership and really dive into what Cincy can do for you and your family and your friends and your team and your group. Sponsoring is a consistent action in your business. Okay. So those are my top 5 healthy sponsoring tips. Live the Cincy life, front load your business, engage in your team and trainings, regular join conversations, and figure out what you're going to do with your new consultants. How are you going to train them to get them off to a new start? And I feel like if you can nail that down and you can really work on that, you are going to be so proud of yourself. And I feel like you will definitely have success with sponsoring. So those are my top 5 tips. I think that's it. I'm going to read the chat box. And I'm actually going to pass it to Bree. She has some closing things while I read that, and then we can do some Q&A if we need to do that. So there you go, Bree.
All right. That was so good. I love listening to her talk about things because it gets me fired up. And that's the same exact feeling I have when y'all share your stuff on the team pages. It doesn't matter if you're a certified consultant or, star director. Like, I get so fired up over the ideas that you guys bring to the table. So imagine a new consultant stepping into this business and seeing all of these people sharing their experiences and what they're doing. Like, it's a fire that they can't even deny. So do be sharing things. That's my favorite part. Okay, so yeah, closing. First of all, thank you guys for spending your time with us on Tuesdays during our Dream Team chat. It obviously is super important that you guys show up, or else me and Alex would just be talking to each other, and we do that all day anyway. So we want you guys here. We hope that it's beneficial for you guys, but we also know that it's in the middle of family time and dinner and all that stuff. And so we appreciate the sacrifice that you guys are making to in turn better your business. So we hope that it's worth it, but it's only worth it if you apply what you are hearing here to your business. Like, again, there's no use in buying the products if you're not going to do anything with it. There is no use in showing up to trainings if you are not going to apply them to your business. It is of the utmost importance that you take it seriously and you hear what we're saying, and it may not all apply to you. And I'm not saying take all of this and try to do it all tomorrow. Okay, pick the 1 or 2 areas that you want to focus on and run with it and perfect it and get it down to a good system, and then continue to work on other areas of your business that you need. Okay, but thank you guys for showing up. So speaking of showing up, our next Dream Team chat will be on Tuesday, February 23rd, same time, same place. We love seeing you guys here, obviously. So it is on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of every month, unless we otherwise notate. And so write it down, mark your calendars. And then I did want to remind you that World Tour breakouts, if you guys haven't been watching them, or maybe you have, first of all, if you have been watching them, please, 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 please share on the team pages what you've been watching, what you've been loving, the ones that have really spoke to you. Even if you're like, if you find one and you're like, oh, this didn't really do much for me, still share it. And maybe you only had one takeaway or it wasn't your cup of tea. That doesn't mean it won't speak to somebody else, but take advantage of those World Tour breakouts and be sharing them on the pages because those will be going away soon, like within a few days. I don't remember the exact day, but they will be going away soon. They're only up for 30 days. So take advantage of that. And then I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to ask this question and I'm going to see if anybody can tell me what it is. Did anybody notice on their workstation something different today? Anybody notice anything different? Dolores, you did? Anybody see anything different on their workstation? Hopefully all y'all logged into your workstation today. Okay, so yeah, unmute, Dolores. Tell us what it is. No, you had what? Unmute her. Hold on. It wouldn't work for you, Katie?
Okay. It showed like videos of all the different parts of the workstation.
Yeah. So what that is called is a workstation tour, and Alex ran through it a little bit this morning while we were on the phone. This is so awesome. This is a huge benefit to your business. If it's not on your workstation, at least give it till tomorrow. Don't freak out if it's not there. I'm sure that they're still like loading them all onto the workstation. But what it is, it's when you log into your workstation, there's a little tab at the bottom, and it says, I think it just says tours or WS tours or something like that. And what it is a bunch of different categories. And if you click on it, then it will walk you through the steps of learning about those different like reporting tabs, opening a party, getting to know your performance tab and account tab and all that kind of stuff. It helps people set up different things within their workstation and get to know the processes and where to find things and things like that. And so it's not just videos, it's literally a step-by-step guide on how to open a party or get to your reporting tab or things like that. So obviously that's beneficial to all of us in case we have questions, or you can go take a look at it. Maybe you want to learn more about something, especially if you're new. But you guys, this is huge for new consultants, right? So when new consultants have questions, they literally have something that will help set them up, and it's Scentsy's guided tour of the workstation, and it prompts them to do things before moving on to the next step. So when somebody is trying to open up a party, it will like tell them, okay, now name your party. Okay, now put in a description. And it's huge. And so that was a surprise to us this morning, but it is an amazing feature that I would ask all of you to look at, play with it next time you get on your workstation, tomorrow, whatever, and see what it's all about. That way that you can share it with other people. Okay. And I think that is it for my announcements for tonight. So does anybody have any questions, burning questions that they wanted to ask? We can have a couple of minutes for Q&A. No news on the incentive yet. We should be getting emails soon, very, very soon. They had over 2,000, obviously y'all know, over 2,000 people earn. So because of how complicated this incentive was, they had a lot more like back end audits and things to like look into and check off and stuff like that. So tell me when. Okay. I don't know when. I don't have any special information when it comes to when we'll be getting the email. So yeah. Any other questions?
Do we know how many people earned like Marco Island or the Cancun incentive? Do you feel like it was less than 2,000?
Babe, do you remember how many people earned any of the past incentives we've done?
Babe, do you think that there was more than 2,000?
No,
I feel like the cruise was more. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. I hear a lot. I hear a lot of people saying that this incentive, more people have earned than any other incentive. I don't know that I've heard that from home office necessarily, but I will say that, like, if you think about it, with how crazy 2020 was with growth and everything, I would not be surprised. And when we say that newer consultants have a great chance at earning an incentive, I feel like that this is proof. We have a lot more certified through star director earning this incentive than superstar directors. There are superstar directors who did not earn this incentive who have earned every incentive before. Okay, so that speaks to it being difficult, but also that we had so many new consultants earning it. So yeah, it could have been mentioned at World Tour. I have no idea. Spring incentive will probably be announced in March. Spring incentive will start in March. They said that. I think somebody said that publicly. It will start in March. So gear up. It'll probably be announced really soon, probably towards the end of this month.
Yeah, and just remember, spring incentives are also PRV based, sponsoring based, and promotion based. So the same as the big fall incentives, but on a shorter time frame. And usually the point system is a little bit smaller, and likely it's like for items or gift cards or credits or things like that. So that will be super exciting when that happens, and we'll make sure we jump on live or on a Zoom and we do a call discussing that. But that'll be really awesome. Yeah, incentives fire us up, you guys. And the hyper growth was real at the end of 2020. I mean, all of 2020, let's be real. And oh, wait, can I be a spotlight too? Oh, yes, I can. Oh. Hey, girl. Really, though, incentives are such an awesome motivator. And we had so many in our group earn the last Disney World one. And even before that, the cruise that was ultimately canceled, but still our team is growing and evolving so much. And so if you feel like, hey, this is your season, you're going to buckle down and you're going to do it, then do it. Just do it. And dedication and motivation will definitely surprise you, and you'll be so proud of yourself by the end of it. So we're excited.
let me just say, if you want to earn, like if trips are a motivator for you and you're looking at the next fall incentive, which is usually a trip, then my best piece of advice to prepare for the fall incentive is to do the spring incentive, right? So don't count out the fact that maybe like gift cards or whatever doesn't speak to you, or it's not a trip and you don't want to burn yourself out or whatever. I get all of that, but let me just tell you that there is, Sensi sets up these incentives very specifically for a reason. And the main reason they do incentives, well, I mean, they want to reward us for our hard work, but the purpose of it is to build a long lasting healthy business, right? And we know that it's built on PRV and sponsoring. So that's why every single incentive we have, you guys, it will be on those two things. It will be based on that. The point system will vary, the incentive will vary, but it will be based on PRV and sponsoring. So don't think that you can skip over the spring incentive and say, oh, I won't need any of that, and hop into the fall incentive. And you may earn it, but you will likely struggle more if you don't pay attention to the spring one and just go for it. Okay. It is our warm up to the fall incentive, and you will be so dang proud of yourself if you buckle down and work hard for the spring incentive. And let me just tell you, like, they don't play. Okay. They $300 in Apple gift cards, worth every dang penny. So don't lose sight of it, on top of
other things. And let me just add to that, PRV and sponsoring are like the main parts of the incentive, but they've even added in recently like that third leg. So if you've been with us a while, we talk about the 3 legs of success: PRV, sponsoring, and coaching. And so the incentives have been very forward on PRV and sponsoring, but recently they've added in that coaching part, meaning if you recruit someone and they hit certified, and then they hit lead, and then they hit star, you're getting points for that as well. So if your PRV is high, you're getting awesome points. If you're sponsoring, then you're likely on the way to promoting, getting points. And then as your team promotes, you get additional points. So it's kind of hitting all 3 legs of success. And then to mirror what Bree was saying with the fall incentive and like really working in the spring incentive, your business will be so strong in the fall if you earn the spring incentive. Okay. It's not like you can just slack off all spring and then kick it up high gear in the fall, because like with what customers, with what follow-up, with what parties, if you're not doing it in the spring, you can't just magically bloom a business in the fall, right? So all of your hard work now, you're going to be seeing the fruits of that in 3 to 6 months. Okay. Every customer you have now is blooming into something in 3 to 6 months, whether that be a VIP customer, a host, a recruit that's doing awesome. You're working for your future. Okay. So don't think that you can just like, it's the summer, it doesn't matter, my kids are home, I don't have to work that much, like it's not a big deal, I'll just hit it heavy in the fall. That's not how it works. Okay. You have to be working now for like April, May, June. And then in April, May, June, you're working for like the fall months. Okay. So like it all adds up to a big, healthy business. Your goal with the incentive is a big, healthy business. And the trips and the gift cards and the product credit and the luggage and the whatever you get is the icing on the cake. But the real awesome thing is that you have a super healthy business with, what dare I say, a consistent, healthy paycheck coming in, and your team is like flying and doing great. Like that's the real cake of it all. Okay, guys. So it's an exciting time. You guys should be really excited, but recognize that it is PRV, sponsoring, and onboarding basically. So
when they announce, if they announce the spring incentive before our next True Life Dream Team chat, maybe that's what our topic will be on. And you guys can send in questions about incentives and whatever questions you guys have, and we can do a whole chat about incentives, because I know a lot of y'all are pumped up. So many of you earned Disney World. I just have to like shout my girls out. We had 13 girls on Scented Dreamers earn
Amazing.
Disney World level 1 or up. And that to me just is mind blowing. So kudos to the entire True Life team, but Scented Dreamers killed it in that arena. So I'm so proud of you guys. Yeah. I know Disney World ain't ready.
It's amazing. And I just want to say, you guys, just for showing up and coming in here and diving into an hour worth of training content and team collaboration and just hanging out. Like, we appreciate you guys so much. We know it's late if you are on the Central or East Coast. We know it's like dinner and bedtime for those of you in California and everywhere in between. We know it is an investment to show up to these. So we really do appreciate it. I'm going to get this uploading onto YouTube tomorrow morning for anyone who wasn't able to watch it, or like Brandy said, she likes to rewatch it and take notes and stuff. I think that's awesome. I feel like this was a very awesome call, if I do say so myself. So I'll be getting this on YouTube as soon as possible. But yes, I think we're all pumped up for what's to come. Let's focus on sponsoring, because that's really what will just take your business to a whole new level. It will give you such a level of pride and fulfillment in your business. And so thank you guys so much. With all that being said, we are logging off. We are done. We will see you again in 2 weeks on Tuesday, but really we'll see you tomorrow on the team page. And yeah, peace out, guys. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye, y'all.